So suppose that you have an employee table containing 1000 records, and you want to get the details of the employees from this table whose age is 25, let's say. Okay, and this table is not on your machine, on your laptop, it is somewhere else. So how will you do that? So the simple thing is, like, first you will bring the data onto your system, onto your laptop, and then you will process it using a simple SQL query, and then you will get the result, your required result you will get. So this you can do simply because the size of the data is very small. Here there are only 1000 records, and so you can simply store it on your system and then you can process it. But suppose that there are billions of records and the size of the data is like thousands of GBs, it is like more than the storage on your system. Then in that case it will be not possible to bring the whole data onto your system and then process it. And even if you use a machine with like greater amount of storage, then also it will take huge amount of time to process such a large table, because there are billions of records. And not only this table, in like current scenario in today's digital age, data of the order of petabytes gets generated daily, and it has to be processed daily. So it is like very difficult to process the such a huge volume of data on a single machine, okay, in a small amount of time. So this is when the distributed computing comes into picture. So in distributed computing, what we do, we simply divide our data into smaller chunks of data, and these chunks are called partitions in technical terms, and then we distribute these partitions onto different machines which are called nodes, and then these partitions are processed individually, separately and simultaneously. Okay, so it is important to like highlight this word simultaneous, because then only we can reduce the number of time then only we can reduce the amount of time taken to process these partitions. If we will not process it simultaneously but instead one by one, then there will be no effect on the time, and it will take, like as usual, a huge amount of time to process all these partitions. So what we do in distributed computing, we divide the data, we distribute it over nodes, and then we process it simultaneously. So in this way, our problem of storing the huge data on a single machine has been resolved, and also our time required to process the data has also been improved. So in our case, like if we are having 1 billion records in our table, then we can partition it, let's say in 1000 partitions. We can do 1000 partitions. Each partition will contain 1 million records. These 1000 partitions we can store on different machines, okay, and then we can process it. So it will take 1000, it will reduce the amount it will reduce the time taken to process these partitions by 1000 times, okay, because we are processing all the 1000 partitions simultaneously. So this is how distributed computing helps us in process the big data, huge amount of data which is generated daily in today's digital age.